So, Linda, just for the record, this is April 10th, 2010. We're at Sherry's studio, and we're interviewing Linda Vallejo.
Thank you. Even though I was on the east side doing the Chicano art community thing with Self-Help Graphics and Sister Karen, it was very obvious that there was something happening downtown. And if you looked at what the invitations and the calendars and the announcements for what was happening, a great deal was taking place downtown. And I had a girlfriend, Muriel Olguin. I was thinking about this. She lives in San Pedro. She's still a practicing professional painter and sculptor. And she had a motorcycle. And she gave me a ride to the Women's Building on her motorcycle. And I remember the day that we drove up on this really loud, I don't know what kind of a motorcycle it was, but it was really loud, coming up to the building. It was really a spectacular beginning. The Women's Building opened up their arms, let me in, welcomed me completely, and allowed me totally to be myself. And I really can't say that about other communities that I was involved in at the time. I had a two-person show there and got to show a great deal of the sculpture from my MFA, which was a combination of lithographic monotypes, hand-dyed, folded and made it into sculptures. Now you can imagine how these went over in the Chicano community in the late 70s, like a big lead balloon. But the Women's Building was very open to all different types of work and really allowed me to be myself in ways that even as a cultural person in the Chicano community I couldn't be. So being a part of the Women's Building at that time was very important to me in terms of holding on to the seed of myself and my own creativity and my own vision. Well, of course, the pinnacle project that I was involved with at the Women's Building was Madre Tierra Press, where each woman designed her own plate and actually printed her own plate with the help of Susan King, who was then the director of the Graphic Center. And we had a wonderful schedule where women came in every week and designed their plates and chose colors and did multiple printings and actually laid out type individually. It took several months, I think, to complete the project, and it was concluded with a limited edition hand-wrapped book, which is, I think, a signature idea from the Women's Building, these individual books and the beautiful idea of the book itself. And we had an opening, which we invited several of the leadership and other artists from the community. We had a ritual. We started our opening reception with a ritual, and it was all in an effort and my work with the Women's Building to show that the Women's Building was really open to multicultural involvement. And I was thinking about this the other night because we really tried very hard. I was on the board even for a while, and a lot of the discussion was, how do we get African American women to join the Women's Building? How do we get women of color to join the Women's Building? And it's always been sort of a glitch in the feminist movement. And I was thinking about it, and I believe that part of the reason, and one of the major reasons, is because of these burgeoning areas where the Chicano community was finally coming together and the African American community was finally coming together, that they were so busy working on their own communities and trying to find a way to express their own iconography, to present their own political and social views, that it was impossible for them to divide themselves into pieces and to join, like I did, the Chicano and the feminist community simultaneously. I tend to be a nepandlera, so I can join and be a part of multiple groups because of my background in traveling all over the world, and I actually like it. I enjoy my life most when it's very multicultural. So the Women's Building was very active and proactive in making sure that the women of color, in this case the Chicanas, were welcome, and we produced a beautiful product. And the Women's Building, it was like, it's a community of women. Whoever you are is perfectly fine and wonderful and fabulous. Please join us.